So far we have discussed regarding the alpha decay. So now we will study beta decay. So actually what is beta decay means? It is the spontaneous emission of electron or positron from the nucleus. So you may get a question, so how the electron or positron comes from the nucleus, as the nucleus is having only protons and the neutrons. So actually what happens is, in order to maintain the neutron to proton ratio some fixed value, so as I have discussed in the previous value, in order to get the stability, so there should be some fixed value for this neutron to proton ratio. If this ratio is imbalanced, then what happens? The emission of electron or positron that takes place from the nucleus. So if the number of neutrons are more, means neutron converts into proton plus electron. If the number of protons are more, means this proton converts into neutron plus positron. So this is what happens in the case of beta decay, and how the electrons or positron come from the nucleus. So in order to maintain the stability ratio of this neutron to protons, so emission of electron or positron takes place. So electron come out when neutron gets converted into proton, and the positron comes out when proton converts into neutron. For the sake of understanding, let us consider the reaction. So where the boron 12 isotope, so this get convert into carbon 12 isotope plus emission of electron that takes place. Actually what happens here is, in the case of boron, the number of protons and the number of protons is equal to 5. Here 5 protons are there, and here this atomic mass number, this indicate sum of proton plus neutron. 5 protons are there, means this minus this, 12 minus 5 means that is 7. So here 7 neutrons are present in the boron. So this boron get converts into carbon, means here number of protons in the carbon is 6, and the number of neutrons are also 6, because as this 12 indicates proton plus neutron, already 6 protons are there, means number of neutrons in the case of C12 is 6. So for the case of carbon, number of protons is equal to number of neutrons, but in the case of boron, number of proton is not equal to number of neutrons. So in order to maintain the stability ratio here, in order to make this n is equal to p, so for the high stability, what this ratio should be, means this n to p should be equal to 1, then such elements are called as highly stable. That's why in order to maintain the same neutron proton number, this boron get converts into this carbon 12 with the emission of 1 electron. By studying these kind of reactions, where the neutron gets converted into proton and proton gets converted into neutron, scientists found that some terms, physical quantities, are not conserved. So for all the reactions, some terms are there in the physics, those should be conserved, then only that reaction takes place, otherwise no. So for this reaction, what they observed is, energy is not conserved, and the linear momentum is not conserved, and the spin is there, spin angular momentum term. So spin angular momentum term, this is also not conserved. So all these things are not conserved for this reaction, means now this reaction should be balanced, so by adding or by removing something. So what is that we will study now. While studying the properties of alpha beta decay, so we know that all the alpha particles emitted from the radioactive source will have the same velocity. So all will have the same velocity. But in the case of beta decay, so here the beta particles emitted from the radioactive source all will not have the same velocity. There will be the range of velocity starting from point 0.3 c to 0.99 c, where c is the velocity of light. So beta particles emitted from the radioactive source, they are not having the same velocity. All the particles are not having the same velocity. There will be a velocity range starting from 0.3 c to 0.99 c. So if you plot the graph of number of beta particles emitted versus energy of the beta particle, then this kind of nature you are going to get. So this is the continuous spectrum you are going to get. So this is the maximum energy associated with the beta particle. This is called, you can call as end point energy. This you can call as end point energy, that is the maximum energy associated with the beta particle. So now come to the reaction where this boron gets converted into carbon with the emission of this beta particle. So this is electron is called as the beta particle. So now see, in any nuclear reaction, the mass of the reactant will not be equal to mass of the product. So always the mass of the product is less than the mass of the reactant, and this difference in the mass of the product to mass of the reactant, so this difference is there, mass of the reactant to the mass of the product, this is called as mass defect. So this mass defect is there, this difference in the mass is there, this is converted into the energy. So this is converted into the energy. So where the difference in the mass of the reactant to the product, this gets converted into the energy, and this energy comes out with the beta particle. So all the energy that is liberated during this reaction, that comes out with this beta particle, because this carbon is heavier one, it cannot take that much energy. So this electron, that being the very lighter one, so maximum energy that is which is converted which we have got from the mass defect, that comes out with the beta particle. So here if you come to the graph means, so here this is the maximum energy, and that is the end point energy associated with the beta particle, maximum energy associated with the beta particle. According to the reaction, so the most of the energy that will be carried by the beta particle. So from the graph, most of the energy means this is the point, so where the maximum energy is there. So now from this graph, if you consider any beta particle of energy, if this is the energy of any beta particle, so actually what we are expecting means, according to the reaction, so this should be the energy, that is should be the maximum energy. But from the graph experimental result, so here is the energy of this beta particle. So this is what, this is the actual energy, this is the actual energy, but what we are expecting is energy of the beta particle should be this much, this should be the expected, this should be the expected energy. So from here to here is there, this energy, this is missing, this energy is missing according to the reaction, that what we have written means, what we can conclude is energy is not conserved. From the above reaction, what we have written, energy is not conserved. So now in order to make the energy to be conserved, some term should be added here. So in this reaction, some term should be added, and that term takes the energy where this energy is missing, this missing energy, that is taken by this another particle. So now we'll study that later. So before that, again spin is there, so spin is also not conserved. So now if you come for this reaction, this neutron, proton, electron, all these are having the spin half. So all these are spin half particle. So here if you balance the spin means, neutron spin is half, and here proton is half, and the electron is also spin half. So all these are called as spin half particles. So here in the LHS you are having only half, in the RHS one is there. means this spin is not conserved. Spin is not conserved means spin angular momentum is also not conserved, means some other term should be added in the RHS so that we can balance the spin angular momentum. So we have to add a particle, means there is a particle so which is having spin half. So if we add a particle which is having spin half, means in the RHS, so we can have 3 by 2, means which we can write as 3 into 1 by 2. This is integral multiple of 1 by 2. So if it is integral multiple of 1 by 2, then also it is okay. Here 1 by 2 is there in the RHS, integral multiple of 1 by 2 is there, means there is a particle so which is having spin half. We have to add a particle so that spin should be equal to 1 by 2 so that the spin angular momentum term is conserved. Now in the above reaction, if you look at the charge, so here neutron is there, this is neutral particle, and here proton is there, this is having plus 1 charge, and the electron is there in the RHS, this is minus 1. So here this is plus 1 minus 1 0, charge is 0 in the RHS side, and LHS side also charge is 0. So here the term, the thing charge is there, this is conserved, charge is conserved. So now from all these observations, so what the scientists have concluded is, from the above reaction we have to add a particle so which is uncharged. We have to add a particle whose charge is not there, which is an uncharged particle, and it is whose mass is very less mass, and it is a fermion. Fermion means whose spin is 1 by 2. So all these things that the particle is having, the characteristics of particle that we need to add in the reaction is, the charge should be 0 and the mass should be very less, and it should be fermion means its spin should be 1 by 2. So in the above reaction, in the neutron to proton conversion, the particle which is emitted along with the electron is called as, this is called as antineutrino. And in the conversion of proton to neutron, so the particle which is emitted along with the positron is neutrino. So these two things can conserve all these energy, linear momentum, spin. This is regarding the neutrino hypothesis of beta decay.